So, yep, we're going to be recording. So keep that in mind as we're going through this. All right, so today should be a lot of review about triangles. We're first going to talk about how to classify a triangle. And we want to review the different angle measurements before we do that. So there's 4 different angle measurements, as you can see up here. So acute, how would you describe the acute angles? Smaller than a right angle, and a right angle is 90. So less than 90 degrees. And I'm going to give an example, look like that. So usually when you say something is cute, you're usually talking about puppies or babies or something little. So the acute ones are the cute little angles, the little ones. All right, we kind of already talked about the right ones then. So the right ones are exactly 90 degrees. And usually it will have a symbol in the corner to let you know that it is 90 degrees. And that's what that symbol looks like. I'm going to skip over obtuse for a second and go right down to the straight. Straight is what? Exactly 180 degrees. And it's just a straight line across. Now I know when I was in school, I only learned acute, right, and obtuse. This was just a line. But that is important that you do know that as 180, my line's a little crooked there, but straight line, okay? Now what can we say about obtuse? Careful, don't just tell me more than 90, because that's not true. More than 90 would mean it could be 200, which is not true. What would you like to say about obtuse? Okay, between 90 degrees and 180 degrees. I like how you have that phrased. Between 90 and 180 degrees. An example of one of those would look like that. Okay? So those are definitely not words that we talk about every day in this class, or any of your class, any grade level when you've learned this before. But I'm sure you learned it in probably 4th grade, 5th grade, somewhere in there. And you talked about it since then. All right, anyone still writing this down? Okay. Okay. So when we classify a triangle, we can either classify by the angle measurements, or we can classify it by the side lengths. So we're first going to talk about classifying by the angle measurements. Okay? And it's really similar to those words that we use to describe the angles. So we have acute triangles, right triangles, and obtuse triangles. You don't need to worry about trying to draw the pictures. I just wanted to have them up there so that you could see them. So in an acute triangle, there are 3 acute angles. So all 3 of those angles are less than 90 degrees in an acute triangle. In a right triangle, what can we say about that? 1 right and the other 2 are what? Acute. Very good. 1 right, 2 acute. So it's impossible to have 2 right angles and make a triangle. That would be impossible. And then obtuse triangles, what could we say for that one? 1 obtuse and 2 acute. So all triangles have at least 2 acute angles. And it's that 3rd angle that's either going to be acute, right, or obtuse. Okay? And that would be classifying it by its angle measurements. Alright, so when we classify it by the side lengths, the 3 words are equilateral, isosceles, and scaling. What does equilateral mean? All equal. Isosceles, 2 equal. And scaling, Now again, you do not have to draw the pictures. I just wanted you to see an example of an equilateral, an isosceles, and a scalene. A lot of times when you have equal sides, it will have a little mark on it to show that they are equal. So like an equilateral might have 3 marks like that. You can see my picture that I chose for isosceles already had 2 on there. Scalene doesn't have any because none of them are equal to each other. The isosceles also has these little things here. That's just showing like the angle measurements are the same. But we really don't need to worry about that when it comes to classifying by the side lengths. In an equilateral triangle, besides all the sides being equal, all the angles are going to be equal as well. Isosceles would have 2 equal sides and 2 equal angles. And scalene, no equal sides and no equal angles. So it kind of goes along with that as well. So again, all 3 angles add up to be 180 degrees total. 180 degrees total, no matter what type of triangle it is. So it's kind of interesting that they can look completely different, but they're still going to add up to be 180 degrees. And to find that missing angle measurement, again, you're going to be given 2 of them. You had to find the 3rd angle. You're going to add the 2 angles that are given. When you add stuff up, you get a sum, S-U-M. So you're going to do then 180 minus that sum. Okay? And that will give you the missing angle measurement. All right. So looking at this picture here, I know that these numbers might be a little small. So this number says 80 degrees. This number says 70 degrees, and I want to find this angle right here. So what do I do first? 80 plus 70 gives me, you can use a calculator, a 150. And then the second step was 180 minus 150, so my answer is 30 degrees. And then we don't really need the picture for that, but I kind of always like to look at the picture and, does that make sense? Well, it's an acute angle and 30 degrees is less than 90, so that could make sense. All right. This one says 40. This one says 70. I'm finding that missing angle. $40 plus 70 is 110. And then 180 minus 110 is 70. So these are both 70. What type of triangle is this then? It is isosceles. That means that those 2 sides must be equal to each other. All right, we'll do one more and then we'll be done. This one, there's only one number listed, 48. But what else do you know? This is 90, that's correct. So if you have a 48 and you have a 90, that's going to give you a total of 138. Using your calculator, don't just do it mentally, make a mistake. Whoop, sorry. Sorry. There we go. 42. You could also do 48 plus what is 90, because this one's 90, the other 2 have to be 90 also together. All right, so this is what I'd like for you to do. Now that we've reviewed these things, on IXL, notice it is 6th grade. So there's a chance that you might already be partially finished with some of this. 6th grade, CC4 is classifying the angles. And then 6th grade, CC8 is finding the missing angle measurement. You may use your calculators, you may use your notes. If you or someone, check them both. Again, you might already be at 90% because you did it last year, but check it. Don't just assume and say, oh, I think for sure I did it already. Okay? Now, you may listen to music while you're working on this. We have about 20 minutes, so you may listen to music while you're working. If you get finished before it's time to go, then you may work on something of your choice, but we're all staying in our seats today. We're not moving on around the room and laying on the floor. Okay? Questions for me? Sure. I'll move back to the assignment here in just a second. He's just finishing up this piece. It's CC4 and CC8. 6th grade. I don't know what 7th grade CC is, but I wouldn't do it. Remember, if you ever get on IXL and it's something that you've never done before, or that we didn't talk about today, then you're probably on the wrong IXL. CC4, CC8, 6th grade. Matthew, can I move? All right, there it is.